Hey, welcome back to the channel, guys. Steve here, V-Twin Racing Channel. Today we're going to get started on, well, a little bit anyway, on this me converting my rubber mounted bike to solid mount. Okay, so for those that haven't been following the channel, basically and we'll run out to the trailer here and take a look in a second, but I have an 07 based drag bike that was rubber mount. I have aluminum bushings in place of the rubber mounts. So in essence, it is solid mounted, but the weight of the cases, the weight of the frame, it's all still there. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this 84 frame, and we'll get into that. Let's go out and have a look at the actual bike so we can get y'all up to speed. Okay, so this is my bracket bike, the OG bike. This is a solid mount. This is a 1997. The bike that I'm working on is this one here, and this is an 07. Like I said, it's based on an 07. It was an 07 frame, cases, so on and so forth. You can see the way the swing arm mounts versus the way this swing arm mounts. Okay, so I'm taking all this, everything that I can reutilize, and I'm going to mount, put it on that other frame. So I don't know what I can do with the tank. I might have to fool around with some mounts or something, but that's a brand new tank. And looks like we're about to get some rain. Anyway, let's get back inside. We can go through the rest of it. Okay, so you all seen the bike. Basically, I'm attempting to save weight. Okay, because the bike, that bike is a heads-up bike. It's not a bracket bike. It's a first one to the finish line wins. Period. No handicaps, no index, no nothing. So, two things that I'm behind the 8 ball on, I reckon, would be number one. My engine is a 1275, albeit heavily modified 1275, where most of the guys are running 88 and 90-inch motors in, like, say, Hot Street and an AMRA, HDRA, and non-bagger in All Harley World Shootout. So I've thrown a lot of money at this bike in the last 2 seasons, 2 years. Yeah, I've had it almost 2 years. Started life as a fuel injected turbocharged bike, and I switched it middle of the season last year. I switched it to naturally aspirated when I went with the BFH max effort package, the 120 plus horsepower package from Hammer Performance. Yeah, we're gonna remedy that as well. So flywheels in that engine, in that 07 engine, are, I've got pretty close to $2,000 in. So I'm gonna have to sell those flywheels, probably just leave them in the cases with the transmission, because you know you got to split it all to take the transmission out, and just probably sell that bottom end. Use that money to build a 2003 set of flywheels. Probably I'm going to sell that 1275 top end, the whole thing, because I want to put a Twinster, a 90 cubic inch Twinster engine together. For those that don't know, that's XLXB horsepower. Chad Hart builds, relocates the pushrod holes on the cylinder heads so you can run the twin cam head on the Sportster, and they outflow. Stock, they outflow anything that you could do to a Sportster head. So that's the route I want to go. But if I'm going to invest in a state-of-the-art top end, I need to not have that. I'm going to guesstimate around 75 to 100 pound weight deficit between my bike and, say, a solid mount bike. So let's have a look at this frame real quick. Okay, so this is a 1984. Might be the last of the Ironhead or 4-speed. I'm not sure, but it is a 4-speed frame. It was an Ironhead Sportster. You can see this gigantic kickstand deal I got to cut off of it. I got to cut this little spring tab off so this thing will actually sit up straight on the table. Nice for a change, I actually don't have a bike on the table. I have this on the table, so I actually get started working on it. I'm gonna have to lay down some heavy degreaser and power wash this thing, clean it up real good. I went ahead and verified that I don't have any rust, any rot going on these lower rails, because that is a prominent problem with these older frames. So this one definitely spent its life indoors instead of outdoors. So one thing, the motor mounts are going to mount pretty much the same on my 2001 cases up there that I have, and with the exception being this is different. You know, where the motor mount on the later model stuff was straight down bolting through this way. I'm pretty confident I can fabricate something to adapt to that. But the problem I found with this frame, looking it over, is that right there. You can see they have a bolt snapped off in it, and this is for the engine, the front cylinder head mount. So I got to grind away at that and try to heat that up and tap it and put a extractor in it, try to heat it up, get it out of there. Then you've got this homemade gobbed up steering stop thing that somebody almost looks like they brazed it on there. I'm gonna have to get that shit off of there and clean that up, because actually the steering stabilizer will act as a steering stop on this. And I don't know where this stuff lines up with later model motor mounts. It may be one of those things where I have to weld something in here with 2 bolt holes to, if that's the case, like I'm gonna, this week I gotta go pick up some motor mounts from my buddy over in Lexington, John Bain, that parts out Sportsters, which is where I bought this frame from like a year ago. So had to pick up some steering stem bearings and a set of stock motor mounts. I'm going to try to recreate these front mounts in aluminum plate, as the idea here is to save as much weight as possible. I haven't figured out what I want to do back here yet. As you guys can see, there's no forgings or cast iron in this frame. It is all plate, stamped metal, and tubing. Plate metal, stamped metal, tubing. There's no cast iron or forgings in this thing, so that makes it a lot lighter. A lot of this stuff, I don't know what I'm going to do yet about an oil tank. I may leave these 2 tabs here and mount an oil tank. I'm probably just going to make some aluminum panels to go over and cover that, and I'm going to cut a lot of these tabs, cut a lot of them off just for the weight. I have to measure. This distance here is just a little over 7 inches between the 2 frame rails, but some 7/8 tubing will lay right in that. And of course you have to cut it to taper to fit this and make some struts out of like some chromoly steel or something, but I may be able to do that, or some lightweight mild steel, whatever. Some stuff that I can actually weld here with my little welder. I have to decide what tail panel I want to, tail piece I want to run on this. I know that the fender, like say on the OG bike, will not fit between these rails. So I would have to use these bolt holes and stack out, run aluminum struts. I don't think I like that. I like the seamless tubing kind of deal that would run back. I don't know. I gotta make up my mind. But the good news is, these guys, the Murray Performance Triple Trees, they are back in play. So I'm gonna make this work on this frame, whereas the rubber mounted frame, these down bars were so big and the head angle was different that these things were smacking here, and I could not turn the bike. I had them on that bike. I had to take them back off because I just couldn't turn it. Wasn't enough of a turn radius. Okay, so this one's short and sweet. Basically, I'm just getting started. I got to cut a few things off of this. I'm gonna soak it in degreaser, get it cleaned up real good, get it, cut the shit off of it. I got to get off of it so it'll sit straight up on the table. I'm gonna get a set of cases in it. I'm gonna mock them up. I don't know. I could probably come up with some junk twin cam heads. I had a set of heads, twin cam heads I sold because they weren't what I needed. To make sure if I got to clearance the backbone or anything. But to get all that done, I have to take the swing arm off of the rubber mounted bike, the 07, and have it, I gotta find a shop that wants to actually do it. I need it modified to fit a solid mount in the front. I have a stock OEM front portion of a swing arm with all that, about this much of it. I saved so I would have one. There's a couple different options there. There's a fellow out in Texas, I don't know his name right off the top of my head, but you also got is it Clayton Danford up in Ohio, which is fairly close to Chad, so I'll probably spend some trips up there this winter. I may just have him build me a brand new arm based on the length that I need. Once I get a front end mocked up on this frame, then I can determine what length I need for the wheelbase that I have to have, and just have him build me a new arm. Unfortunately, the guy that has built the last two arms, he's not doing real good health-wise, and so he's not really doing anything. So hope he recovers. You know who you are. I think that's all we got for today. Both bikes are loaded in the trailer. We got, what, 2 weeks? 2 weeks for the next race. Wilkesboro, All Harley World Shootout, Wilkesboro. So, unfortunately, the weather hasn't cooperated. All the local tracks keep canceling either due to heat or rain. So, my game plan is show up Friday. I know the OG, the bracket bike, is good to go for this heat. I've got it jetted appropriately. I probably need to spend Friday night getting the main jet dialed in on the silver bike. So hopefully that all goes well. The ignition's fixed, the carburetor's fixed. I got the new carburetor on it. Everything's good to go. All I got to do is drain I store these bikes with a mixture of Cam 2, which is 110 octane purple race fuel, whatever, and I mix some where's that shit at? Let's see. Anyway, it's around here somewhere. Some two-stroke oil, 50 to 1. I mix it 50 to 1, and because both bikes run on C45, and when I drain that stuff out, I'll put some Cam 2 with that two-stroke oil in, just a little bit in the tank, and run it through the carburetor, start the engine up, run it. As soon as it starts to smoke, I shut it off. That's my storage procedure for that fuel. So all I got to do is drain that shit out of the carburetors, put C45 in both of them, get them fired up, take and put a few licks on that silver bike and see, change the main jet, keep going up. I got it kind of conservative right now, like around a 140 main, and probably be at around the 150 range or something, about where I want to run. But everything should work. Should. Hopefully we'll get down the track without so that's all I got for today, guys. I just wanted to let you know I'm getting started on this frame. As usual, work in progress. I'm just kind of doing all the dirty work and the cutting and grinding and all that other shit I got to do to get this thing as ready as I can get it for this winter. I'm probably going to get another set of forks off of eBay, a set of 05 to 07 GSXR 1000 forks, because the ones that are on that bike now are just complete pieces of shit. They have they're bent. I know they're bent because even with these perfect billet clamps, okay, I still had trouble getting those forks up in these clamps. So that tells me the upper fork tubes are bent on them. One of them had a big ass hole in it, bam, and was filled in with silicone to keep oil from coming out of it. They come off a wrecked bike, there's no doubt about it. But I'm going to find a set that are not beat up, not bent, not tore up. I'm on eBay. I'm going to replace those forks. But the good news is the wheel, the brakes, the fender, all that other shit will work. So, yeah. So I got to buy that. I got to buy some forks. I'm going, like I said, I'm going to pick up motor mounts. I'm going to try to or duplicate the front mounting plates in aluminum. I may get creative with that front cylinder head and then the top mount in the middle. Try to make that stuff as lightweight as possible. But I also got to utilize that kind of is utilized as a carburetor support. So I got to make sure that I factor that in. I have another primary cover coming with the window, removable window to rotate the engine, so that'll be for this bike. But yeah, over the winter, we are completely taking this. I won't be talking about rubber mounted bikes anymore. This the end of the road. 3 more races, it's done. It's done. If I end up buying a new swing arm, I may, because I have a title for that frame, I may sell that frame with that extended swing arm and all that stuff. I don't know. I might just throw the shit in the dumpster and call it a day. Lessons learned, right? Okay. This is it. Thanks for watching. If you got any thoughts, drop me a comment. Love to hear from y'all. Thanks for your support. We're getting real close to that 500. May not seem like a big deal, but it is to me. I appreciate every one of you that subscribe to the channel. If you haven't, please consider subscribing. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.